Hey guys, Mariko Berg, Realtor with BRIDGEWELL Real Estate Group.
And I'm Radna Reyes, another Realtor from the BRIDGEWELL Real Estate Group.
And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down absolutely everything that you need to know when it comes to the Coquitlam area of the Tricities.
We're going to go over some of the key landmarks, main transportation hubs, things to do around the area, schools, and of course, real estate, because we are your local realtors.
And this is really going to be everything you need to know. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. We have actually lived in the Tri-Cities our entire life, grew up in Coquitlam, and so we have a very personal experience that we're able to share with you guys in this video. So why don't we just get into it? So first things first, to understand Coquitlam, you really need to get an idea of the area as a whole. And so there are actually 23 different sub-areas in Coquitlam. And so as you may guess, there's a lot of differences from the furthest west side of Coquitlam, which is Coquitlam West, and the furthest northeast side, which is Burke Mountain. And actually from one side of Coquitlam to the other side of Coquitlam generally takes about 20 to 25 minutes to drive from. So the way that I generally like to think about Coquitlam, and I mean it's not formal by any means whatsoever, but it makes sense in my head, is essentially North Coquitlam is essentially comprised of the North Coquitlam sub-area itself, which is more around the Coquitlam Center Hub, New Horizons, Westwood Plateau, and on the most northeast side you have Burke Mountain. Then next I kind of like to think about it as Central Coquitlam and East Coquitlam, which is mainly comprised of areas like Central Coquitlam, which is what the sub-area is actually called, Chineside, Ranch Park, and Coquitlam East. Then I like to bulk it into South Coquitlam, which is more so Millardville and also Cape Horn. And then last but not least, West Coquitlam, which is comprised of popular urban neighborhoods like Lougheed and also Burquitlam. And so in terms of Coquitlam as a whole and what you're kind of bordered by, on the west side, you're actually bordering Burnaby, and that boundary is North Road. Another, more on the northwest side, you have Port Moody, and then on the east side you have Port Coquitlam. And so if you've heard this term Tri-Cities before, that's actually made up of Coquitlam, Port Coquitlam, and Port Moody. And so all of these areas essentially make the Tri-Cities.
And some of the key landmarks that you're going to hear about when navigating through Coquitlam includes Coquitlam Central Station. And right beside that you have Coquitlam Center Mall. That's going to include stores like the Bay, Walmart, TNT, Lougheed Mall and Lougheed Station on the west side. And you also have the big blue box IKEA. And you're also going to have Lafarge Lake Town Center Park, the Vancouver Golf Club, and Mundy Park.
And so if you're concerned about some of the top neighborhoods within Coquitlam and you're wanting to learn more about that, right off the bat I can tell you that some very popular ones are Burke Mountain, Ranch Park, Westwood Plateau, and Coquitlam West. But obviously this all depends on the type of product that you're interested in, or just generally what is most important to you, whether that be schools, outdoor areas, things to do. And so if you are looking for more information on this, as I said, we are realtors, and so we can definitely help you explore what neighborhood is most appropriate to you. But very generally, those are the most popular areas within Coquitlam.
When you're looking for things to do in Coquitlam, there is no shortage. You can start at Town Center Park. There's going to be a ton of soccer fields, beach volleyball courts, basketball courts, tennis courts, baseball diamonds, a lot of events. You can celebrate Canada Day, the Dumpling Festival, a lot of sporting events there as well. And right beside it, you got Lafarge Lake. Great all year round, but especially in the wintertime, they have a free outdoor light festival just for the holidays where you can enjoy a nice stroll around the lake with a ton of lights with your family, friends, significant other. Then if you're into golf, not too far away, you got the Westwood Plateau Golf Course. You got Eagle Quest, pitch and putt and driving range, and you got the prestigious Vancouver Golf Club. If you're looking for a lot more outdoor activities, there's no shortage of hiking. You got Mundy Park, a lot of trails over there for the bikes. Then you also have a lot in Westwood Plateau and the Burke Mountain area with the Minnetonka Regional Park area. You also have on the border of Poco and Coquitlam, you got the Coquitlam River. It's a perfect day if you want to stay cool, go tubing, go fishing, have a barbecue. It gets really busy around Canada Day there as well. And if you're looking for like a mini grouse grind, you definitely got to check out the Coquitlam Crunch, where you're going to have a great workout with hundreds of steps. And obviously you can't forget about the Como Lake area. That's beautiful spring, summer, and fall time. But in the winter time, sometimes it's gonna freeze over and you're gonna find some of the locals ice skating and playing some ice hockey. If you're a really active person, there's a number of indoor fitness facilities, one of them including the new YMCA.
So on the note of indoor facilities, there's certainly a lot of things to do outdoors, but there are also a number of things to do indoors in Coquitlam. One of the most notable ones is definitely Coquitlam Centre Mall. As you can probably guess, lots of shopping options there, retail, commercial spaces, restaurants, grocery stores, the food court. Definitely a good place to check out if you're just wanting to do some shopping or go and cool off on a hot summer day and enjoy that air conditioning. As another option in the North Coquitlam area, you also have the aquatic center pool, and that actually has a wave pool, which is really fun for kids but also for adults, honestly. You've got lap pools there, diving boards, sauna, steam rooms, lots of different options if you're wanting to just like enjoy an indoor pool. You also have Lougheed Mall, which is at like that border of Coquitlam and Burnaby off North Road. Technically it's on the Burnaby side, but it certainly is another mall that a lot of residents within the Coquitlam area enjoy, and there is certainly a ton of restaurants within that area as well. If you're more on the south side of Coquitlam, you can enjoy the Cineplex VIP cinemas. You can catch a movie there, matinee, evening, whatever you want, and they've got that VIP option with the lounge too, which is always a nice bonus to have. Right beside the cinemas, you have Zone Bowling and a number of other restaurants. This is a really popular thing to pair with the cinemas. A lot of people will go bowling and then maybe grab a bite afterwards. You've got a lot of different options within that area. In terms of restaurants, I mean, it's awesome because you have so many options and there's a really diverse culture within the Coquitlam area. If you are looking for more information on like the demographics and like who moves here and which area, you can actually find that on the City of Coquitlam's website. They've broken it down for some sub areas where you can kind of see like the stronger percentages of cultures that live in certain communities. And so that's a really great resource for you if that's something that you're interested in. But obviously like that cultural like mixing pot really influences a lot of the restaurants within the neighborhoods. So you've got like a lot of Persian foods, you've got Japanese cuisine, Korean cuisine, Chinese cuisine, like good old North American cuisine, and so lots of different options. Oh, and of course Italian pasta and pizza is some of my favorite. So lots of good options within the area for different restaurants. Moving on to kind of more of like that grocery side of things, there's also a number of options, also very multicultural. You do have good old classics like Superstore. You've got a couple of superstores in the Coquitlam area. You've got No Frills, you've got Save On Foods. You've also got a Costco not too far away, one in Port Coquitlam and one just like on the other side of Burnaby there that's not too far to get to. And you've got a lot of Asian grocery options as well. So you have TNT, but one of the things that Coquitlam is actually really known for, specifically Coquitlam West, is their Korean community. And so we literally call it like Koreatown or Little Korea, and it's on that kind of like Lougheed side of things. And they've got a Hanam grocer, they've got an H Mart, and they have a ton of different Korean restaurants. It's honestly one of my favorite places to go to and just try different Korean cuisine and also get some classic Korean groceries. If you are looking for something a little bit more local, they also run a Coquitlam farmers market, so that's definitely something to check out. But safe to say there's a lot of different options. We've got a lot of fun things to do as well, like go to the breweries. Mariner Brewing is a staple in Coquitlam, but as Ranner said before, we are on the border of like that Port Moody and Port Coquitlam area, so there are tons of things to do within the Tri-Cities as a whole that you should check out, and safe to say that you will have no like running out of options when it comes to both indoor and outdoor things to do within the Coquitlam and the Tri-Cities areas.
When it comes to schools in Coquitlam, it's broken down in 3 categories. You got elementary schools from kindergarten to grade 5, you got the middle schools from 6 to 8, and you got the secondary or high schools from 9 to 12. In secondary schools, you got Pine Tree Secondary around the North Coquitlam area. They have a great honors program and advanced placement program. You also have Glen Eagle Secondary. They have a nice fine arts program mixed with a little humanities, as well as a culinary arts program. And when you go into the Coquitlam East Central area, you also got the Dr. Charles Best. It's a highly rated school with French immersion programs.
Then you move on more into like the central and the south and the west Coquitlam areas, and generally the catchment for that is going to be Centennial Secondary, which is definitely like one of the bigger schools and bigger catchments in all of Coquitlam. They have an awesome athletics program. They're really well known for that. And it's a brand new school that got completely rebuilt. So definitely a good one in terms of like more modern finishings and things like that. If you are not going to one of those secondary schools, there are also other options in terms of private schools, and then also self-paced instructional schools like CABI that you may want to check out. If you are interested in learning more about the other programs for these secondary schools, you also have a great resource on the SD43 sites where you can actually look up the different secondary schools and see what their individual programs are and things like that. Moving on into more of the post-secondary education, we've got Douglas College just right behind me here. It's actually right across from Pine Tree Secondary School in that northern Coquitlam area. So this one is a resident of Coquitlam and definitely a good option for anybody that's looking to go to college. Not too far away if you're looking for a university, we also have Simon Fraser University. So how we were talking about that Coquitlam West, kind of Burquitlam area, which is the furthest west part of Coquitlam, Simon Fraser University is actually only about like a 5-minute drive up that hill there. So you are really, really close if you are a resident of Coquitlam or the Tricities and looking for a university option for your kids. So safe to say there's lots of different options in terms of secondary schools here. As Ratner said, a number of middle schools as well, and a lot of different variances in terms of elementary schools. So definitely make sure to check them out if you are looking for more information.
Trying to get around Coquitlam, there are no shortages of public transportation options. They have multiple SkyTrain stations connected to the Evergreen line that goes from Port Moody to Burnaby all the way down into the Lafarge Lake area of Coquitlam. Then you also have the buses. They typically connect you from the Lougheed SkyTrain station to the Coquitlam Central Station. You can't forget about the West Coast Express rapid transit option. That'll take you from the Coquitlam Central Station all the way down to downtown to the Waterfront Station. When it comes to the main roads, you can start with North Road. That'll give you the boundary of Burnaby and Coquitlam. Going through central Coquitlam, you'll be taking Como Lake and Austin. They're running parallel. You also want to remember Lougheed Highway. That also turns into Pine Tree and Barnett. That'll run you through Coquitlam West all the way down to Burke Mountain. If you're going more to the north side, you can't forget about Mariner and then Johnson and David. And if you're thinking about driving out of the Coquitlam area towards Vancouver, you have easy access to Highway 1, Lougheed Highway, and Barnett Highway. Relatively, if you want to think about going from Coquitlam to downtown Vancouver, it could take you about 40 minutes from Coquitlam West area, or it could take you about an hour from the Burke Mountain area. Whether you're taking public transit or you're taking your own car, this is a pretty accessible community.
So as a realtor, we're finally getting into my favorite part, which is of course real estate. In terms of Coquitlam, I mean, there's so much variety in terms of product here, also in terms of like age, interior size, lot size. So it's a little bit hard to just like completely generalize it, but I'm gonna do my best to break it down for you. So really what we have is a little bit of everything. You've got condos, you've got townhouses, you've got duplexes, you've got detached homes, you even have mobile homes. So you can find really any type of product that you want. In terms of condos, if you're looking for like the general areas that you'll find them, definitely like the more urban master plan communities are in North Coquitlam, so around that Coquitlam Center Mall area, and then also Lougheed, which is in the Coquitlam West area, and Burquitlam, which is also in the Coquitlam West area. But you have a number of other condos sprinkled around as well, in Millardville, in like, you know, Central Coquitlam, in Coquitlam East, and in New Horizons, there's also a really awesome community there. And you have a lot of difference in terms of low-rise products, so kind of in like that 3 to 4 story wood frame style, and high-rise product, which is obviously concrete and goes all the way up. So that's essentially what you can find in terms of condos, all age ranges as well. Moving into townhouses, you'll see a lot of different townhouse product. You will have really popular areas like Burke Mountain, which is a little bit of a newer area for townhouses, and they'll typically have that like classic 3-story stacker, a little bit narrower, generally kind of in like that 1,400 square foot interior range, but obviously goes up a lot bigger, and some smaller as well. Really popular to also be in Westwood Plateau, and you have a lot of variants in terms of product there. You do have newer product that's kind of similar to Burke Mountain in that 3-story stacker style, but you also have like beautiful like older style homes that have like 2-story layouts, nice and wide, big, like 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. So a lot of different options in terms of townhouse product, and again, a wide range of ages. Moving into detached homes, I mean, you really have like everything under the sun. You've got, you know, ranchers that are just that one level, and it's really common to see them kind of in that Coquitlam West area and central Coquitlam. And as a result of that, you do also see a number of like tear downs, large lots, but also a lot of spaces that have really amazing redevelopment potential. You have heritage homes that are really common in the Millardville area because it's one of the oldest areas within Coquitlam and has a really strong French community. You have 2-story homes, and a lot of those 2-story homes you'll see in the central Coquitlam area, in the Ranch Park area, that often have like these beautiful views, and also generally have a little bit of a bigger lot or a little bit of a smaller lot in the New Horizons area, where you kind of have like that 2-story, like smaller home, 2,000 square feet with a 4,000 square foot lot. Moving on into something a little bit bigger, kind of where I am right now, you start to see more of like those 2-story with the basements and 3-story homes built in the 80s and the 90s. Very, very common in the Coquitlam East neighborhood and the Westwood Plateau neighborhood. But again, because there are a lot of older homes that are mixed throughout Coquitlam, and you see a lot of those tear downs, you're also starting to see these like bigger 2-story with a basement or 3-story homes sprinkled throughout other areas as well, particularly central Coquitlam and Coquitlam West, where you have that like tear down, and also Millardville. In Westwood Plateau, it is very prestigious and always known for the huge monster mansions, which I'm sure you guys have seen if you have been to Coquitlam. So that's definitely another thing to check out if you are looking for a much bigger home. But very generally, that's kind of what you can expect in terms of condos, townhouses, and detached homes. If you actually look on our website, so bridgewellgroup.ca, we have like all of the sub areas within the Tri-Cities, but specifically Coquitlam for this video, broken down for you. It goes through like everything in terms of schools, in terms of like average prices, generalizations about real estate, crime, stats. So that's definitely something for you guys to check out if you're looking for real estate information for a specific area. Or of course, as I said, I'm a realtor. I've lived in Coquitlam all my life, and so I can definitely provide you a little bit more of a perspective in terms of real estate specific to you and what you're looking for, and figure out what the best sub area in Coquitlam is that meets your needs.
So that concludes our video about Coquitlam. I hope you learned a lot from the lifestyle, things to do here, especially some of the real estate.
If you are looking for a little bit more information, we've actually broken down a lot of the sub areas within Coquitlam and the Tri-Cities to give you a little bit more tailored information about each area. We've gone through a lot of popular ones like Ranch Park, Burke Mountain, Westwood Plateau, Central Coquitlam. So definitely head over to our YouTube channel if you haven't checked them out already, and subscribe for a lot more videos in the future. Of course, if you are looking for that other level of resource, we are obviously realtors. We are Coquitlam through and through. We've lived here all of our lives, and we have a lot of information that we can share with you beyond this video to make sure that you choose the right sub area for you or your family when it comes to moving into the Tri-Cities. So definitely make sure to reach out to us if you are looking for a realtor to help you relocate and move into the Coquitlam area. We would be absolutely more than happy to help you, and we really hope that you enjoyed this video.